Hello and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you how I edit my Instagram photos. Now there's not a lot to it, it's pretty simple. I have gone from using literally like no filters at all to a couple of apps just to play around with the brightness. I don't like to go anything too drastic, even though it looks like it here. I'm literally just brightening up my image. So I thought I would do that. I thought it would be quite fun to share with you. Now I'm not someone who sticks to a theme. I'm not really one to have a theme on my Instagram. I'm just really liking the brightness of my images at the moment, so I'm just playing around with the contrast rather than changing my images drastically to completely different colours. So the three apps that I use, all of which I think they're free. I'll put them in the down box below if they're not. Some of them have in-app buys, which I don't use at all. I'm quite stingy when it comes to my apps. I only really download the free ones and I never do the in the payments inside. But I use VSCO, InstaSize and Facetune 2. So I take my image first and then I go into the VSCO app. And I choose the filters, which one I like. So there's quite a few to go through, but the main one I pick is the F2. Then I play around to whether I want it quite bright or I don't want as much of that filter on there. And then I click the tick in the bottom. And then depending on the colour, because a lot of the time I take them either like 8:30 in the morning just before I'm going to work or after I've come back, so I don't have the best lighting when it comes to my images. So I play around with the warmth. I usually turn the warmth down a little bit, then I turn like the highlights up a little bit, the shadows, play around with that till I get something I think is quite a nice bright image. After that I save this to my camera roll and then I go into the app InstaSize. Now with this you can see all the other images that you've taken, and then I pick the image that I want and then I choose different ones. Now sometimes I will go between oak, bark and maybe the 1989 one. A lot of the times it's usually bark. Now I don't like this on full. I like to play around with it again. Depending on something I'll keep it around the 40 to 60 mark depending on how dark my picture is, and it also that makes a colour a lot brighter. I will then go into that and play around again with the brightness, the contrast, turn down the warmth a little bit because there's still a little bit of the warm tones in there, and then I go into the size of my image. Now depends what it is, I'm not too fussed on there. Usually I'll go for the square one just so it fits the Instagram layout, but if it's like a portrait one, obviously a selfie of myself, then I tend to just put that in Instagram as it is. I don't really play around with the square because I'll cut off like half of my face, which isn't what you want. So I'll usually go for the square one, and again I'll save that to my images. Then we go into Facetune. Now with this one, this is where you get most of the whiteness to it. So I'll just upload the image onto there and I'll go onto the whiten one and I literally just go all over the image. I'll brighten it up, go all over that, and then you can move the lever around whether you want it a lot whiter or you want to tone it down a little bit. And after that, depending, sometimes I might go onto the smooth depending on the image, and then other times, well most of the time now I've been using glow. Sometimes if it's a selfie again or an image of my outfit, then I'll just go using the glow around the background. That's perfect if you've got quite a dull orangey background because that really does brighten it up. Make it a little bit washed out, but we come back in to make that work afterwards. So again, you can move the lever across whether you want it a lot more glowy or a little bit more dull. Then I go in with the vibrance one, and this is where you build your colour up again. So if you've dulled something out and you want in your hair to look a little bit more vibrant, with Lenny, the picture here, I want his colour to come out a little bit more, his little wrinkles to show up a little bit more. This is where like your contrast comes through. Then I'll go over this, and again you can play around with the lever whether you want it a little bit more of a contrast or not as much, and then I will go in and save that image. Then this is where Instagram comes in. I will then upload my image on Instagram. So I'll upload it, and then I will usually stick to the normal one, and I'll play around with the brightness, the contrast again, just on the normal one. So usually I'm just brightening up the brightness, because it can come into this app as like your warm orangey tones. Depending whether there's a lot of bright colours on there, I want to up the contrast, and then sometimes I want to dull down the warmth. And then that is it. You want to write your comments underneath and then share your picture with everyone else. Some of you might think that is a lot of editing to photos. Because I've got into the flow of it, it literally takes me seconds. I don't really do too much to it. I'm just brightening the contrast and dulling down the warmth a little bit to the extreme, but that's how I quite like my photos at the moment. In autumn time I might just not do that, because I like the beautiful auburn tones to everything. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for a lot more. I do have a blog. I'll put the link in the description box below. I hope you pop over there and see what I do. That one is more fashion based, so yeah, I really hope you go over and have a look and give me a cheeky follow if you do. I hope to be back with you very shortly with another video. I hope you this one, and I'll see you next time.